Hello, and welcome to American Dream Latin Souls. I'm Daniel Ortiz, and today my guest is entrepreneur and Grammy-nominated artist Miky Cruz. Miky, welcome to our program.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Great, glad to have you. Miky, you have a fascinating story, and usually I don't bring artists per se onto this program, but you are also, in addition to being a Grammy-nominated artist, you are also an entrepreneur and businessman as well, because you look at the business aspect of the music business. And you've got a fascinating story, and we're eager to share it. So I want to thank you for being willing to share your story with us, because you started off in Central America. You were lost part of your family at 4 years old, and you were virtually homeless. And you went from there to being a Grammy-nominated artist and playing for the President of the United States. So that's one heck of a journey. So before we get into that part of your story, I want to ask you the same question we ask everybody on this show is, what is your American dream and what does it mean to you?
Well, like I was saying earlier, in reality, I didn't know that there was a dream, that there was an American dream. And the way I was raised, the way I grew up, we were just thankful to be alive and have something to eat. So.
Now you grew up where?
I grew up in, well, I was born in Nicaragua, and let me back up a little bit. So I was told that my father was part of the American military. He was stationed down there and met my mom. I was born in Nicaragua. And around the age of 2, the Contras or the Sandinistas came. I don't know how it happened. I was a baby.
This was in the Nicaraguan Civil War. Daniel Ortega was still in power, I presume, in the Contras.
Something like that.
Okay.
Yeah. So I guess they came and killed everybody in the house, and a neighbor found me and notified my father. He got me out of the country and left me with a friend of his in El Salvador. And I stayed there till I was 6 or 7 years old. And after that, I've been alone since.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
On the streets.
You were on the streets of El Salvador?
El Salvador, Guatemala, Costa Rica, Honduras,
So how does
Mexico.
a 4-year-old survive on the streets of Central America with
Not
no
really
parents?
sure. My case was a little bit different. I loved music, and I always loved singing. And I noticed that some other kids were singing on trains and street corners. And I just joined. I figured I could do this. Got myself a bucket, started banging on a bucket in street corners. People gave me money. And
a career was born.
Yeah, pretty much. I didn't think I was going to make a career out of it, but so far I've stayed in music business.
Okay. So how does it feel to go from that to playing for the President of the United States? And I believe it was George Bush that you played for?
Yes. Again, like I was saying at going back to your earlier question about the American dream, I didn't really, all of these things have happened because I didn't have a dream. I'm happy to be alive on a daily basis. I'm here with you. Tomorrow I may meet somebody else through you, and just things happen. And that's kind of how it happened with the president. I knew people, they hired me, and I was there, and just things happen.
So
Naturally.
So you're following your dream or your passion then through music, and things happen.
Yeah, correct.
And I believe that's true because, as a coach and I'm teaching people to, Latinos specifically, how to achieve the American dream without losing their Latin soul. And it really begins with a passion and a vision. And when you follow your passion, things happen.
Yeah.
Unexpected things happen.
Oh, you just got to get up early in the morning and do it.
And work, right? You got to work for it.
Yeah.
Okay, so growing up in Central America, you were not aware of even the concept of an American dream. As Americans, really, that's part of our ethos of American culture.
Right.
I mean, who are you as an American if you're not achieving a dream? That's what children grow up with. They have a vision of what they want to be when they grow up, and it's the American dream. So it's unique that I meet somebody who's living a dream per se, but really grew up without that concept. So what does it mean to you then, now that you have an idea, that Americans have a dream? What was your American dream, and what does it mean to you?
Well, now that I am in the most wonderful country, it has so many opportunities. I believe that there should be an American dream because the opportunity is there, and it's just a matter of us taking advantage of it and, go for it and achieving what we want in life.
Okay. So, do you believe that being an Hispanic or Latino influences your dream? As
My heritage, I'm assuming there's some kind of Hispanic in me, but well, I was told that my father was Asian, my mom is Indian, and I grew up speaking Indian, but I fit in with the Hispanic community because of the language, but I also fit in with Asians, with Native Americans, and so, yeah, I guess I do have some Hispanic in me.
Okay, all right. So we want to talk about your music career.
Okay.
You started off, if I heard you correctly, banging on a
Bucket.
right?
Right.
Okay. And now you're a Grammy-nominated artist, and you have a CD out. Your latest CD, I believe, is Kumbeke 2?
Kumbege too.
Kumbeke 2. And so tell me, what does Kumbeke 2 mean?
Kumbege is a made-up word. For a long time, I experimented with a lot of different styles of music. I did passing through Mexico, Central America. I listened to Caribbean music, cumbia, salsa, merengue. I passed through Mexico and I listened to mariachi music, boleros, huapangos. And all of these musical influences became one. I decided to do cumbia, mix a little bit of reggae, mix a little bit of salsa, and created Kumbege.
Oh, so that's a new.
Just a word, just I made up.
But it's a confusion of different.
It's a fusion
styles.
of different styles of
Okay,
music.
and it's uniquely Miky Cruz's, right?
Pretty much.
So are you the only one that plays this type of music, or?
I would say yes.
Okay, all right, very good, very good. So you're in the music business, okay, and so you've obviously done well with your as an artist. So tell me, what is the music business like, and what are some of the challenges that you face as an artist and entrepreneur in the music business?
One of the challenges is to run out of money.
Okay.
And
Artists sometimes have that.
Yeah,
Not just artists. I mean,
It's
entrepreneurs,
in general.
financing is
Yeah.
is always an issue.
Well, I was recording this CD. I was with Warner Brothers for a while, and
Warner Brothers was your
my record label.
record label. Okay.
And so I went to Los Angeles, and I had invested everything into this, hoping that the record company would, renew the contract and take it to other levels. I ran out of money. Stayed with friends down there. I didn't have gas money to come back, so back again from the Latin Grammys to the president, back in the streets again, playing in the street corner, made enough money, made it back.
Is that right?
So that's one of the obstacles, I would say. You run out of money trying to achieve a product, and when it's not there, it's not there. You just got to figure out a way how to get it done.
So did the record label, did they mislead you, or was it
No,
just
no, not at all. I
just
think it's just
expectations were not there?
the whole industry kind of came crumbling down, and it was time to be creative again. Yeah.
Well, the music industry is notorious for, being unstable. I mean, even, we hear stories of rock stars, and even some of the old-time jazz musicians, that are famous. I don't want to mention any names that are famous, and you would think that they're multimillionaires and they're broke because, because the record labels get a bad deal, or they had bad management, and they were focused more on the music than they were on the business aspect.
Correct, and a lot of us as artists and musicians as well, we tend to have that problem. We're musicians, we're not accountants, we don't do paperwork, and it's a learning process. We have to learn, we have to adjust. I'm learning myself. So, it's just a matter of adjusting, learning, and treating it as a business so that we can advance.
Very good. So tell me, what's it like playing for the President of the United States? Or is he just another fan? I mean,
no, it's great. It's great. I've had the opportunity to play for a lot of politicians, and some of them are nice, some of them are not so much. It's a gig, just another
gig. Okay, all right. So what are some of the larger venues that you've played at?
Larger venues. played so many. It's hard to pinpoint one.
Well, you can mention several. Just
Okay,
give us
lately the last event we did was for about 8,000 people in Oklahoma.
Uh-huh.
It was about 3 months ago.
Okay.
Mhm.
And you've had some sponsors, I believe, or spoke at or played at venues where there was sponsored by like major corporations, I believe.
We've played for major corporations like the Kodak International, American Express. Yeah, a lot of big corporations that we do conventions,
Uh-huh.
and they hire us, and we're there.
Okay,
Mhm.
very good. So one of the questions I ask, and I think you really got into it, is entrepreneurs generally start off young. I believe that entrepreneurs are born, not made. And so usually an entrepreneur will have seeds sown when they're young. You know, they're selling lemonade or they're selling papers or there's something. So what were the seeds of entrepreneurship? I think you've talked about that actually when you were young. You started making money. You learned how to make money because you had to, really.
Right. Well, the first thing that I did was play in a street corner, and then I purchased a watermelon.
You bought a watermelon.
Watermelon.
Uh-huh.
Say that watermelon was $4, and cut it in small pieces,
Uh-huh.
and put it in a container, and took it to all the construction workers, and sold them for 25 cents or 50 cents a slice.
Uh-huh.
And I just realized that there was money to be made in selling oranges, or I sold ice cream, pushed that little ice cream.
That's entrepreneurs are like that.
That's
They
right.
out of their idea. So how much money did you make a profit on your watermelon? Did you say
I-
okay, 25 cents a slice of $4? I need to sell so
$4, and
many?
I got, say, 50 slices
Oh,
or
50
40
slices?
slices out of the. Yeah, so I kind of
And how old were you?
20 times of my investment.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
20 time return on investment? I mean, that's
Right.
pretty good. I mean, a
Not
lot of
bad.
hedge funds don't do that.
Yeah. So
How old were you when you were doing that?
probably like 7, 8 years old.
Okay.
Hmm.
And you said you sold other things?
I sold other things, and then a friend of mine built me a box, a shoe shine box.
Uh-huh.
And then I would go to offices and shine shoes.
Uh-huh.
And then a guy told me, he says, "I'll give you extra money if you make them
Extra shiny?
extra shiny and make them squeak." So I went like this. Like that. Tricks, you learn.
Uh-huh. So you're a performer. You were performing as your
Yeah.
shiny shoes.
I performed. I worked in the circus. I worked street corners. I would put gas in my mouth and then blow fire, and then collect coins. Pretty much anything.
So you're multifaceted.
Yeah. Or if I run into you in the street corner and you said, "Sing me a song," and I said, "Buy me a sandwich." Yeah. Trade.
Okay.
Yeah.
So tell me about your music business. How did it start? Where are you? Do you have a band?
I've never really had an official band.
Mhm.
I've had a lot of wonderful musicians that I worked with, and whenever somebody has an event or a date available for us to perform, I call people and I say, "Who's available? Who's interested in doing this event?"
Mm.
And if they're not, call other people. Just
Okay. Well, you're the headliner, of course. So these are supporting
yeah,
members.
yeah. That's how I do it.
Okay.
Just put bands together in a matter of days.
All right.
Mhm.
And do you work with an agent?
I have worked with an agent, but most of the time, I'd say 90% of the time, I just do it myself.
Okay.
Yeah.
You prefer to handle the business aspect yourself?
It's better that way. Sometimes people could say the wrong thing, or things don't go right,
Mhm.
or chemistry with promoters.
Mhm.
So I'd rather do it myself.
Okay.
Hmm.
Well, that's one of the traits of an entrepreneur as opposed to just a worker, is that we tend to be a little bit more controlling and like to control the business aspect.
Correct.
Because we don't think anybody else can do it better than we can, and usually that's true, right? Would
Yeah.
you agree?
Yeah, there's a Spanish saying that it says, "La vaca engorda el ojo del amo," which means, translating. How do you translate that? Anybody?
The vaca, what?
La vaca, the cow only gets fat if the owner's eye is
Oh.
on the cow,
Okay.
watching constantly.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay. So what advice would you give to any budding entrepreneur, be it whether they want to be in the music business or selling fruit or whatever, what kind of business advice would you give somebody?
Don't do it unless you're willing to accept the consequences.
Okay.
I mean, it's a challenge.
Of course, yes.
You have to be willing to accept the.
No guarantees.
No, there are no guarantees.
Being
Exactly.
an entrepreneur,
It's just
right?
you got to be willing to work hard and stay with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, how many hours a week do you work in your business?
Endless. Sometimes I work until like 4 in the morning. Sometimes I get to sleep. Sometimes I don't. Like the trip in Oklahoma, we did one show in Roswell. We did another one in Amarillo. Then we did another one in Oklahoma. No sleep for 3 days.
Is that right?
Drove and got there and run, change, go to the next. Just, yeah.
Okay. That's
no sleeping.
That's the music business. That's the
That's
life.
what it is. So basically, at the end of the day, if we make $2 an hour, we're lucky.
Is that right?
Yeah. So it's a challenge, but we love what we do.
So
we do
just
it for
ask
the
you
love of
about
music.
that. One of the themes that make entrepreneurs successful is the word love, and we don't hear about that in context of business very often. But it's not the romantic love; it's the love for what we do.
Correct.
And that love is what keeps us going when times are hard, when we don't make money, when we're struggling. But you love the business.
You have to love it. Yeah. Otherwise, you'll get disappointed fast.
Well, it's too much work not to do if you don't love it.
Yeah.
Of course.
Oh yeah, it's just endless hours and hours, and then you do the math, and it's like, wait a minute, this is not worth it. But if you love it, then you stick with it.
Okay, very good. So you had a song. I listened to one of your gigs recently, and I've seen your YouTube videos. And the song is about being in a club. What's the name of that song? Is
Morena.
Morena. Tell me, where does your inspiration for your songs come from? Because that's a beautiful song.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly, it says that I went to a club one night and then.
Was this an actual experience you had going to a club, or?
Not really. I mean, I go to clubs, but I don't party. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I don't do drugs. I'm just.
Wait a minute. You're in the music business and
Yeah,
you don't party?
I'm almost a Jesus. No, I'm kidding. I'm that clean. So it says that I went to a club and I was standing there, and then a girl comes up to me and she asked me to dance, and I couldn't believe that she was asking me to dance. And then I just made up the rest. Science fiction.
Well, it's more than that, because a lot of music comes from personal experience.
Yeah.
A lot of
Some
times-
of it, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that particular one is just commercial.
Okay. And do you have other songs that you originated or you created yourself, or do you sing other people? Because you play a little bit of both, I believe.
Yeah, I would say I do 60% original and the rest popular music.
And what are the artists that have inspired you the most?
A lot of them, actually. A lot of different artists that have their own style and have their own way of creating or writing. I listen to them and admire all that.
Who have been like the top few that?
Oh gosh, I mean, there's Luciano Pavarotti. There's Sonora Dinamita from one end to the other. There's mariachi music. There's Luis Miguel. It's just endless. There's a lot of, and in reality, music business is not so much about talent. I would say there's a lot of talented people, but the people that really make it are the ones that really know how to promote it.
Is that a promotion, marketing?
Yeah.
Well, that's business.
That's business.
And
Exactly.
that's true. They say if you want to make, not the fast food chains that make the most money aren't the ones that necessarily the best food.
Correct.
So it's interesting that that you apply that to the music business, because
Yeah.
a lot of us believe it is a lot of talent, and there's a lot of talent out there. In fact, there's reality shows, of course, now that are showcasing people's talents, but promotion.
That's where it is.
Marketing.
Really.
So in the end of the day, it's marketing.
Yeah, because there's a lot of wonderful musicians. I've met a lot of them personally, and I'm like, oh my God, you should be.
Why aren't you at the top? Yeah, I've seen that too.
Yeah, but you meet somebody else that maybe not as talented, but selling CDs like crazy, and they're just on billboards and they're all over the place. But that's what they do. They're good at it.
So it's interesting that you recognize that, because a lot of artists don't. I mean, I've been to certain venues and artists play, and I ask them, do you have your CD? And they forgot, or they bring it and they forgot to mention it. So
Yeah.
marketing promotion. So do you do your own marketing and promotion, or do you have somebody to assist you with that? Or
I do. I do. I do a lot of the marketing. I go to radio stations. I team up with radio stations, TV stations, magazines, sponsorships, car dealerships. I do a lot of all that.
Okay. So what's your vision or your dream for the future? I mean, you're still a young guy.
Well, just continue doing what I do. I'll probably be 80, 90 years old if God gives me that much time to live. And I'll be doing music. I don't really hope to be a millionaire. I'll be happy to survive in what I do. And that's all I want.
Okay. So do you believe you're living the American dream, or your version of the American dream?
I'm living it.
Okay.
I'm blessed to be alive and to be here in this amazing country that has all these opportunities.
All right. All right. And are you? Do you see yourself touring, like going back to Central America, South America, or have you done that already?
I've done that already, but not for a while. Just now, I'm gonna pretty much focus on staying here for a while.
Okay. Now technology's changed a lot and changed the music business, the recording business. I mean,
Yes.
there's no such thing as a record anymore.
No.
And even CDs and
They're gonna
discs
disappear pretty soon.
are disappearing pretty soon. So how are you planning for that?
It's already on the internet. A lot of the music that I've been selling is already on the internet. It's just download iTunes, 99 cents. And that's
iTunes.
it.
So you have a contract. How's that work? You have a contract with iTunes, or do you have a license agreement?
Yeah, it's all taken care of. That basically they get their percentage, and whoever else I need to pay, and they give me my percentage for the sale of the song.
Automatically. So what percentage of your business is coming from iTunes and versus hardcover discs or CDs?
Well, it's actually less expensive to sell it on the internet than actually
Less overhead.
producing that. There are more opportunities for promotion to have the actual CD, but it's cheaper to have it I go to the studio, record it. I don't have to actually print it, just upload it, and it's available.
It's download.
That, for example, do you mind if I?
Sure, go ahead.
What I do with this, not too many musicians or artists do this. So, most artists, they save up their money and they record a CD. What I do is I go out mainly because I don't have money to do it. If I did, I'd probably invest my own money. But what I do is I get sponsors. So on my next CD, I go up to you and I say, Daniel, would you be interested in having your business
So you're selling ads on your
on the actual CD?
Okay. See, an entrepreneur.
Yeah, so that's what I do. I just get all the business.
Is that an idea that you came up with, or is that?
Yeah, it's just an idea I came up with. Another thing.
Let's take a look at that. So you have, these are local sponsors?
They're local, national, and international.
Wow. So you found a advanced the business model for music.
Or another thing that I do is, for example, now that the holidays are coming, and the gentleman over here we're gonna interview is interested in, say, promoting his business, and has a Christmas party, or has like a group of people that are coming in to taste the food, and he wants to give him a Christmas present. On the back of the CD, his entire business will be printed. And when he gives the CD to the client, says, this is a gift for you.
Right, for marketing as well.
So it only costs maybe like $8, $7 present.
Right.
And if he had to go shopping to buy that customer present.
And it's a unique gift. I mean,
it's a unique gift.
A personal gift.
Personal gift, and his name's on the cover. So he's promoting himself as well at the same time.
Right, in the CD.
So that's what I do.
Well, so that's fascinating, because you take something that's a challenge and you create an opportunity, just like you're selling watermelons, slices. You find an opportunity, another way to make money from the cover of the CD.
Correct.
Entrepreneur.
Yeah,
See, that's
how we
entrepreneur
do.
mind. So, all right, fascinating. So, tell me, one of the challenges of being an entrepreneur in the music business is having, family, the family life. Hispanics, are very close to their family. So what are the challenges with you? You have a daughter, and how do you raise a daughter and be a successful musician at the same time? That's going to be.
Well, it's not easy having a family. I mean, I met a musician one time that told me, you have to choose between, actually the trumpet player for the Jay Leno show. We have a lot of wonderful musicians that played in the city.
A trumpeter for Jay Leno?
I had played on here, and another guy from the Sonora Dinamita, and we were just hanging out, talking, and we're talking about how some people make it in the music industry, and some people don't. Well, you either choose to have a family or choose not to have a family.
That was his perspective, or is that your perspective?
No, just we were just discussing, not his idea, but we're just the group of people say, well, you have to choose to have a family and do music part-time, or you choose to do music full-time and not have a family. Obviously, the person that doesn't have a family has that freedom to pick up at any time and say, I'm gone. I'm going to go meet these people. I got to go meet these producers. Next month, I'm going to be at the Latin Grammys. And, well, you can't have a family. You come back and your wife is married to somebody else. So that's the way it is. It's a very jealous business. You have to really focus. For me, I have been able to somewhat adjust to my family and adjust to music. And it's not easy. It's not easy, but been doing it for a while.
So does your daughter show any interest in music?
She's playing her Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Stars on keyboards already.
Is that right? She's how old?
Yeah, she's 5.
5 years old, okay. And does she talk about being in show business like her dad, or?
She likes it. Yeah, she has a performance coming up. And
she does? Okay.
So she sings. She sang when she was 2. I have her recording already.
All right.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about that, having your daughter?
It's great. I think that she should go to school and focus on, developing a career. And if she has the desire to continue doing music with it, she'll have that opportunity as well.
Okay, great. So what challenges have you overcome? Now, what have been your biggest challenges? And you've had many, obviously. And what did you learn from those challenges, and how does that help you in your business career?
Challenges.
I mean, you mentioned money is obviously, for musicians.
Yeah, money is one. Survival is another. Growing up in countries when the war was really strong, started in Nicaragua and then moved to El Salvador and then Guatemala, and I was around that area around that time. So getting out on the street, you have to walk against the wall and we'll look around because you'll hear gunshots every minute, every hour, or buildings exploding, military attacking the Contras, or just a lot of crime, a lot of.
So the challenges you're facing here in the United States are nothing to compare, that's what I'm hearing, to what you faced down.
Oh yeah, I was listening to the news and they were saying that there's a lot of crime. I'm I'm not really scared of the cholos. I mean, they're just regular kids. They're just
So it's all perspective.
just being kids.
Yeah.
But actually down there, you got to be afraid of a 7-year-old. They'll stab you. I mean, it's scary.
Okay. Well, Miky, we've got about 20 seconds left. So, the short time we have left. So, what are the 2 principles you've learned to advise people to live their dream?
Love what you do.
Love what you do.
And stick with it.
Stick with it. Okay. Very good. Good advice.
Yeah.
Right. Well, Miky, I want to thank you for sharing your story. It's very inspiring.
It's a pleasure.
We wish you the best in your music career. And I want to thank our audience for being with us on American Dream Latin Souls.